Hello and welcome to Films and That. My name's Rob Turnbull.
And my name's Sam Hall.
Today, Sam, what are we looking at?
Today we are looking at Four Lions, directed by Chris Morris.
And why did you pick this one?
Well, it's a film that I thought was quite well received when it came out and well known. And actually I realised it's kind of fallen under the radar quite a bit. So for that reason I feel like it really fits the remit, of our mission, I suppose, to talk about underappreciated films.
Okay, great. Let's take a look.
Four Lions, released only 9 years after 9/11, is a film that does the unthinkable, tackles the subject of suicide bombing from a comedic perspective. 5 idiotic extremists decide to make the ultimate sacrifice for their misguided beliefs. Trouble is, how do they overcome their biggest barrier? Total and utter incompetence.
This review contains spoilers. So right off the bat, it's a particularly odd subject to make a film about. You can go into a lot of trouble for doing it.
Well, yeah, as soon as I heard about it, I thought, oh my God, what's going to happen? So unbelievably, it's pretty extraordinary that the director, Chris Morris, managed to appease people from all different angles and perspectives and didn't really seem to upset anyone.
That's the interesting thing researching it, is that you would expect someone to be outraged by it, because there is the potential there for a lot of callous humour and going for shock value based on the subject matter. But he doesn't really do that, I wouldn't say.
I imagine it was probably just like a few extremists in all camps, probably an imam here and a Ku Klux Klan member there saying you didn't talk, you didn't do enough or something. Yeah. But for the most part, they don't make suicide bombers come out and look any better.
No.
Is this a gesture? That was for real, brother.
Although that's essential to the subject, I suppose you could say that the film is about 5 sort of friends trying to achieve something together, but are so utterly incompetent that they can't even get the basics right. Yeah. And that's kind of what it's about.
Yeah, it's about just regular guys trying to achieve something.
Yeah.
And it's about their misguided beliefs, like you said. It's about how they convince each other to do stupid things and to do things that they don't necessarily want to do themselves. It's kind of about peer pressure in a way, I guess.
Well, yeah. And there's also a power struggle between the two sort of biggest egos in the group. Yeah. Omar, I think, he's a bit more intelligent. He kind of bridges the gap of the background of being someone although he's an Islamic extremist, he still has embraced British culture a bit more than, say, someone like his brother, who is much more traditionalist and, ironically, also not a terrorist.
I'm not in the same room. You can come in.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not.
The wall has been taken out, so you are.
Their family, like his wife and his kid, know about he's going to do this, and they're perfectly okay with it, and they're kind of happy that he's going to do it, and that's the real tragedy in the film, I feel.
Yeah.
Is that you're going to blow yourself up, Dad? It's like, that's horrible. It's just horrific for me.
Don't you worry, because even if he gets blown to bits, he's going to die smiling.
He'll go straight to heaven.
Yeah, he'd be in heaven before his head hits the ceiling.
So just run through the characters quickly. You've got Waj, is it? His best friend.
His cousin, isn't it?
Who's completely stupid, played by Kayvan Novak, the phone jacker.
Blow something up.
What are we going to blow up, Waj?
Internet.
Faisal, who's just kind of a sort of more timid, I suppose.
Can I have 12 bottles of bleach, please?
What's that?
It's a woman's voice because it's got loads of liquid peroxide and she dye her hair or something.
And her beard.
What?
There's another character later on, Hassan, who's a rapper.
We're introduced to him because he turns up at a rally when he pretends he's got a bomb, and then he sets off and it's just party poppers, and he goes, yeah, you thought it was real because I was Muslim.
Mashallah, brother!
Oh, what, man? Come on. What? Just because I'm Muslim, you thought it was real?
And then, as I've said before, you've got the 2 main characters, Omar, and then Barry, the aggressive, slightly more intelligent than most of the group, but at the same time has all these mad conspiracy theory ideas about swallowing your SIM card so you can't be tracked.
Yeah, and one time he says, you need to shake your heads like this because if they're taking pictures, it'll come out all blurry.
Yeah, on CCTV, and then Omar's like, CCTV's a video, so he's just going to look like a couple of idiots.
What are you doing?
Just in case they're taking pictures.
What?
Barry says you come out blurry.
Well, it's all about people wanting to make a difference, but not really knowing the direction they want to go in, and then being led by others and being controlled by others, I think.
Yeah.
It's not just that the suicide bombers are inept. It's like the police are inept as well. Everyone in it really doesn't grasp the situation.
I've heard some people talk about it as being a kind of hyper-real world, or all the characters in it are hyper-real. Everybody seems a bit more stupid than they would be in real life. Like everyone, on every level.
The bear is down. Repeat, the bear is down. They've got the bear. I think that's a Wookiee. That's a Wookiee. No, it's not. It's a bear.
This is where the humour is derived from, is their stupidity. There's this real horrific undertone throughout the entire film.
That their ultimate intention is to go and blow up innocent people. Which, you know, something incredibly dark, and approached in this way of, but these people do exist. There actually are. They can't be that stupid, surely. But there are these people, like radicalised people, who just, just believe any old shit they're told.
Yeah.
There was the shoe bomber, I think, was one, who, just blew up his feet or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which I think most people remember, was in Glasgow, when a couple of guys drove into the Glasgow airport.
Oh, yeah.
Their car caught fire. They were both on fire, and then one of them got beaten into the ground by a Glaswegian, and that was their terrorist attack. You know?
Yeah, well, that's their mistake. They tried to bomb Glasgow. I think he's done it. He's been very clever in how he's approached it, Chris Morris. He's not done it from the perspective of a white person, saying terrorism is completely evil. He's kind of unpacked the idea of this war on terror. The kind of key to it is making the terrorist human. We understand why they've gone down this path, even if it is misguided.
My cousin Faz died defending a mosque in Bosnia. Did he flipping rise up, bro?
Let's bomb boots.
They want to fight something. They want to make things better, but they don't have the intelligence to actually do it properly, and then someone comes along and tells them, do it this way, and they've just gone down that path.
Or I feel the intelligence to understand it either.
Yeah.
What they're dealing with.
When it actually comes to it, quite a few of them don't want to do it.
We don't have to use that on ourselves, do we, buddy? Of course we do, bro. But it's our choice, right?
Fess?
What?
It is your choice, bro. Right? It can only be your choice.
Right, yeah.
Omar, to his credit, he goes, if you want to, it's your choice, which I think that kind of like sets you up as his character. Then you like him because he says it's your choice whether you want to blow yourself up, and then that becomes a moral thing for later on as well.
Unfortunately for him, his death is quite a comedic moment.
Faisal, yeah.
He dies. He blows up some sheep by mistake in a field.
Get him faster, bro! Not so fast!
Barry keeps going, he was a martyr. He took out the farming industry.
Yeah. And then Omar has a very funny line in that when they put the pieces of him in a bin bag, and they don't know what was him and what was a sheep.
I couldn't separate it.
So what is he, lads? Is he a martyr or is he a fucking jalfrezi?
It wasn't just Chris Morris that wrote it, it was the guys from Peep Show as well, Sam Bain and Jesse Armstrong, which I thought was interesting.
I don't know, anyone watching who doesn't know about Chris Morris, he was kind of in a way he was kind of like one of the big giants of comedy in Britain for a while, and at the same time he was also one of the most controversial figures in comedy, because mainly because of something created called Brass Eye.
We're after your help too. Security footage of a paedophile disguised as a school. He's been getting away with it in Sheffield for 12 years. Do you know him? Have you seen him? Please call.
Yeah, I think he's worked on Veep and things like that in America. So he's done a lot of like producing work and directing.
Presumably then he's still
stuff.
in cahoots with Armando Iannucci,
Yeah.
who's also a big name in British comedy.
Yeah, I think so.
Well done, yeah. Now, Fred Neal's unlucky enough to catch his virus from a blood transfusion. Something he had no control over.
I caught it from my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend?
From my partner, yeah.
So you've got bad AIDS, not good AIDS?
They don't really know what they want to do, so the two of them go off to a training camp in Pakistan, don't they?
It's like it's a different pace at that point. It feels kind of different, and also I thought some of the jokes in that scene were a bit too over the top, maybe a bit too on the head.
So the main kind of joke is that they try to shoot a drone down and they get the missile the wrong way around and it goes behind them and destroys a terrorist training camp.
Yeah,
basically.
And then right at the end of the film, in the credit sequence, a news report says that they blew up Osama bin Laden.
It's just the kind of impetus to get them to plan their own bombings, though, basically, because they come back and they're in disgrace. And so in order for Omar to save face in front of Barry, he says, yeah, we've got the call. You know, that's why we've come back early. We've got the call to do our own thing. So they go rogue, basically, from their terrorist organisation.
It's in a way, it's kind of a good moment, though, because you finally see that side of that Omar is almost no better than the rest of the people he's organised. I mean, in a way, you almost think, how has he ended up with so many stupid people under his wing? And then you sort that at that moment, you sort of realise, you know, he's kind of got his overconfidence that's kind of his biggest weakness, I suppose.
Yeah, and he's also quite manipulative. I really like the scene he has with his child, and he's going through this story of Simba and Pumbaa, but like as if it's him, and he's explaining, you know, the how Simba threw a rock behind him and it killed Mufasa.
and then his little boy says, "But Scar killed Mufasa."
Yeah, in the film, this is real life I'm talking about. So Simba had a choice. He could either tell all his friends what had happened and create confusion, or he could keep it a secret and lead all his friends in a big fight against Scar. What do you think he did?
He had to tell the truth.
No, he has to fight Scar. So he's trying to give him the choice to make the choice he's already made, and when he makes the other choice, he just manipulates him into making his choice.
I felt like that. I mean, that scene actually grounded me back into the film after the old scene in Pakistan, and it also kind of, I felt like they were giving across this point of the child. You know, even the child knows this is stupid in a way, even though the child's sort of on his side.
Yeah, but this is how these things happen, because his child goes, oh yeah, but he would do the right thing, and then his father's trying to do something else, and he's kind of controlling his child. So that's why his child then has that mindset, because he's just been manipulated by his father, and that's the heart of how people become terrorists, I think. So that's the kind of point it's making with that scene.
Telling the truth means giving up. Would Simba give up?
Simba would never give up.
Exactly.
They always end up with having sort of one step forward, two steps back with each thing they try, you know, and they lose Faisal at one point when he dies, and then they have a big falling out. They get fed up with Omar telling them they're all idiots. And then,
that puffin scene's great.
they keep on talking about these things that you know what they're talking about, but they've got a kind of online chat room,
puffin party,
represented by puffins that they talk about.
Hassan's puffin won't talk to me. Wajid's puffin's just told me to piss off. Barry's puffin's turned all red and is hiding under the pirate hat.
It's incredibly funny, this film. I think that's why it saves itself. If it wasn't funny, it would be the most tactless, stupid thing ever.
Yeah.
So they decide, after much deliberation, to bomb the London Marathon. But then that's when they have the kind of crisis, don't they?
What you got to do, you got to listen to your heart. Remember?
My heart, yeah, brother Omar.
So what's your heart say?
It says, it's wrong, why just don't do it?
And then Omar convinces him to do it by saying he's confused or something. And then that other guy runs off and starts telling the police that he's an accidental suicide bomber. And then that's when he blows up.
The whole marathon scene, the point is kind of, it's again brings back this power struggle between Omar and Barry. Barry's a committed fundamentalist. He's always had only one thing on his mind, but Omar still has a semblance of humanity in him.
He's got this moral
that he's been
thing.
pushing down,
Yeah.
and now it's sort of come back to the surface again at this moment when Hassan tries to give himself up, and then Barry kills him.
You took away his choice, you demarted him!
Did Wedge have a choice when you told him his heart was his brain and his gob was his ring piece? You tomatoed your friend.
But he's done exactly the same thing. He's pushed the button, as Barry has done, just with words. So I think that's a very powerful and poignant, way of phrasing it.
I'm fucking loaded! Yeah? No messing now, yeah?
He goes into a kebab shop.
Everyone in there's a Muslim.
Yeah.
So then he can't even kill non-Muslims.
I just finished this, then we're all off to heaven, all right?
The only person who ends up killing themselves with intent is Omar, who is doing it reluctantly at that point. He's doing it because he's got no other choice, because it's that or prison.
Oh, you stay here. You tell him I'm smiling.
What?
Yeah, and they all die kind of pointlessly. And
other people die as well. The police SWAT team burst into the kebab shop and kill the kebab shop owner. and then Waj dies after that.
I'm sorry, lads. I don't really know what I'm doing.
So many Hollywood films are built around the grand narratives, you know, the black and white narratives. And the point of this film is that there is no black and white narrative. It's just a big litter of greys.
That the police shot the right man, but as far as I'm aware, the wrong man exploded. Is that clear?
So an interesting watch. What did you think of this film, Sam?
I really liked it. There's probably an element of me being sort of biased towards it because of the name of Chris Morris being attached to it.
Yeah.
The same with the recent film Death of Stalin that had Armando Iannucci attached to it. And that big name ultimately made me gravitate towards it more, you know. Perhaps if Chris Morris has made a bad film. I don't think this is as good as I would expect from Chris Morris, actually. There are a few moments here and there where it sort of loses me a bit because they're just too stupid, maybe, or some of the moments are a bit too silly, and the hyper realization just doesn't quite work for me. But at the same time, I think there's enough funny moments, and I think the commentary is underappreciated, maybe misunderstood as well.
You say you gravitate towards Chris Morris. You do get a kind of assurance of quality with people like him and Armando. Yeah. You go into it knowing that it's not just going to be going for shock value. There's going to be something smarter there. And that's what this film is. And it's incredibly brave that someone made it. I watched this again for this review. I hadn't watched it since it came out, pretty much. But there's still a lot in there that I'd forgotten about that made me laugh, like jokes, made me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of well-crafted comedy.
It works as a comedy, definitely.
Michael Cadet, if you're watching that, you owe me £200 and you're going to pay up. Because I'm not here right now. I'm somewhere else, but you're still going to pay. You owe me money.
Okay, that's it for this time of Films and That. Thanks for watching and subscribing. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.